I'm Steve Graff and I'm on another solo mission in remote Western Australia to find some of the best gold and the largest nugget I've ever found. Getting more and more difficult to find a spot where nobody's been before you. I just found a little piece about 10 feet over there, just a little tiny piece, and then I just came across here and there's my first stargazer, or sunbaker as they call them. But it's funny because I actually saw it before I swung the detector over it. It's just shining nicely in the sun there. It's just right in front of the coil, just there. So there it is in the centre of the screen, just right there. A little bit of yellow there. So there it is, look at that. Oh yeah, it's a nice little piece. There you go. Huh. Bit bigger than the one I got just a bit earlier. Very nice. It's a good little bit. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and the flies are already a nuisance. They seem to start at about, just as the sun's rising, I suppose. And it's supposed to get to about 35 degrees today, so that's something to look forward to. I saw a couple of snakes about a week ago. One of them was about 2 meters long, and I took some good shots of it and looked it up. And it seems, I'm 90% sure it's a guarda, and apparently fairly common around the area. Highly venomous, so not something that I really want to run into too much. And then I saw, a couple of days after that, saw another little snake. It was right by my feet actually, just going through the vegetation. It wasn't aggressive at all, it just sort of slithered away. It was only probably a bit over 12 inches long, just a young one. Anyway, going through this bit of scrubby stuff here, and next thing a bit of a woo. Got a signal down here. As you can see, I've got a little bit of depth there. Seems to be right in the centre of the hole. Now, this is what it sounded like on the surface. If you can hear it through the headphones, I've still got the headphones on, but I'm picking it'll be out of the hole now. Yep, she's out. There we go. Just here somewhere. So you can hear that. So she's in the scoop. Nice signal. So let's see what we got here. See if we can see it in the sun. There, look, see, there's a bit of yellow. Looks nice. You can see that there. Very nice, very nice. That's it, right there. Look at that. Look at that. What a beauty. Wow, nice. Nice piece. Stand up. Look at that, eh? Oh, good. Let's just hope there's something else around the place. It's not just a flash in the pan one-off. Very happy. Just in case anyone's wondering, I always fill in my holes. Just like to leave the place as close as possible to how you found it. And there you go. Bit of rain and you hardly know I was ever here. I've got another signal here, and it's only actually probably 20 meters from the other one, which is just through the scrub over there. But it's about an hour later I was sort of working over in that direction, and then I circled back around over here, and here I've got a nice signal. That's through the headphones again, but so as you can see, she's a nice sound. It's pretty much in the centre of the hole, I think. Yeah, it's sort of soft in between the hard, if you like. See, that's some of the bed rock stuff sticking up. It's kind of almost slaty type of base to it. But, I imagine that signal is probably just in this stuff here, so it'll probably be out now. It's daylight. Still here somewhere. It's loud. Cross my fingers that that's some gold. I hope it's not a piece of junk. No, out. I believe that, I think, may be it. That's it, alright. I'll give it a bit of spit. I'll remember to take my head net off for a second. Okay, now you can see a bit of colour coming through. Look at that. What a beauty. It's got to be 3 or 4 grams anyway. Only probably about 4 inches down, I guess. Once I get a bit of a clean up on it, it'll really look nice. The bird shown on the right is an Australian bustard, which is one of Australia's largest birds. Of course not on the scale of emus or cassowary, but still pretty big for a bird that flies. They stand about 1 metre high, with a wingspan up to twice that length. I've got another signal here, which is only probably 6 metres from the other one, which is just, I don't know if you can see, patch just over there. But it's about probably half an hour since that one, because I went all around behind me here, circling all through the scrub. But anyway, got the signal here, and it's nice and loud. I haven't, all I've done is scrape the surface with my boot at this stage, so you just hope it's gold. It's a nice signal. It's loud, just like right off the surface, so it's either very shallow or it's a nice chunk again, hopefully. I'd nearly given up on this spot, as I'd spent the last couple of days combing the area and finding nothing. So I was about to move on in the other direction, but fortunately I just found that first little piece, which prompted me to look a bit further. In here somewhere. See what happens. Yeah, a rattle. I believe that might be it, if I'm lucky. Let's see. That's it, alright. Whew, the detector's going crazy. Look at that. Oh, there's a bit of weight in that. You beauty. Oh, nice. Real nice. Hey, look at that. Wow. Those flies. Look at the flies. Drive you nuts. And of course your hands get so scratched from going under the scrub and stuff. And then you start bleeding, and then the flies, of course, go for the blood. Drive you mad. But that certainly gives you a lot of encouragement. I'll give her a bit of spit. If I give it too much spit, I end up getting too dry in the mouth. I have to go back for a drink shortly anyway. It's been nearly lunchtime. I think that's maybe heavier than the last one. I'll wipe on my trousers. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, we'll just check the weights of those 3 I got this morning. That was the first one. Yep, nearly 2.6. The second one was that one, I think. And that is 4.82. Good, good. And the last one was this one here, I think. That is just over 5 grams. So that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that morning. More on, and we've got nearly 12.5 grams for the morning. Very happy with that. It's always nice to catch up with some of the larger members of the local wildlife, and I managed to get quite close to this big fellow. Over the course of the coming weeks, I ended up having many encounters with camels as well as wild horses. This morning I spent quite a few hours detecting around some old diggings, but unfortunately didn't find any gold at all, just lots of junk. Rusty cans, nails, wire, sort of everything you can think of except gold. But I did find an old coin and a ring. The coin is a 1964 half penny. I'll just give you a close-up of that, get the focus right. Back side. And last year I got a 1914 silver threepence, which is pretty good. This is the oldest coin I've got this year, and the ring, well, it's not gold unfortunately, and not silver, so I don't know what it's made of. It's got a bit of a bulge in one side of it there, as if it's probably been handmade. And the funny thing is, it's actually quite small. It's more like it's a woman's ring, even though it looks like a man's ring, but it only fits on my little finger, won't go over my big fingers. So it's quite interesting. Later on I put it in some mild acid, and blow me down it came up nice and yellow. So it turns out that maybe it has got some gold content, either that or it's some kind of bronze or brass. I'll have to do some tests on it to find out for sure. The last few days have been pretty uneventful. Just the usual rubbish like rusty nails and bullets and whatever, but no gold to speak of. Maybe a couple of little specks, but nothing of any consequence. And I'm just going along. It's nearly midday, I suppose. It's getting a bit boring. Anyway, I'm just going to do you a quick little reenactment of what happened, because it actually didn't happen right here. It happened just back behind me there somewhere. But I was just coming along, and I just swung the detector under a bit of an old stump there, and this is what happened here. Quite a nice signal, but sort of a strange sound in a way. Anyway, I just literally, I thought, oh, it's probably just another piece of junk as usual, and I just literally scraped it with my boot like that, and then and oh yep, it's out, it'll be just rubbish. And I look down, and just right there I see the bit of yellow, like you can just there now. If you see that there, if I just get a bit of focus, see that just there, that thing there, that is what came out, and it was sitting right on the surface. That, nice chunk, a bit of weight in it. I mean, yeah, what do you say about that? I'll give that focus a bit better. Look at that, it's a beauty. It's been sitting in the sun. Oh, it's a nice chunk. Yeah, it's got to be at least a couple of grams on that, surely. So then I started combing the whole area, and about 10 minutes later I got another sort of a strange signal, and it's just over that way, so we'll take a walk over there. There's quite a few hot rocks around here, the ground's sort of quite hot and all. But anyway, here we are. Seems to be right in the centre of the hole, so. Let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. That'll be it. Right there. That'll be it, I say. Let's just have a check. Yep, that's alright. Just give it a bit of spit. Another nice chunk, not quite as big as the other one, but still a nice little chunk. Yeah, there we go. Happy with that. Let's hope there's a bit more around the place, eh? Makes me more cheerful. Good stuff. These short-beaked echidnas are found throughout most of Australia, and along with the platypus are the world's only egg-laying mammals. They're very placid, and if they feel threatened, they'll simply curl up in a ball just like a hedgehog. Okay, we'll just weigh those little bits. There's the two that I filmed, and on the way back to the vehicle, I found another little piece, this little guy here. So we'll weigh him first. Yep, 0.39. Then the second one I got. Yep, cool. And this piece that I thought should go over 2 grams. Let's see how that comes out. Oh, nice. 2.5. So altogether we have, yeah, nice, just over 4 grams. That's pretty good for a morning. Pretty happy with that. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it's actually come up quite windy, which is probably quite good because it's softened that heat a little bit. A nice cool breeze. Anyway, I've got another signal here, which is good. It's about probably 40 metres or so from the two before lunch, and it sounds quite nice. So there's a nice sounding signal. It seems to be right in the middle of the hole pretty much. Alright. Oh, there we go. There it is. Oh, yep, nice little piece. Oh, yeah, I think that'll be over 1 gram, I'd say, or around 1 gram. Good. Sun's very low. It's probably later than 4. But there you go. Nice. Hopefully there's a bit more around. I'll often go out detecting during a full moon because it's nice and cool with no flies and you don't need a torch. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of success over the last couple of nights though, only finding 1 piece just over 1 gram. The next morning I moved to a new location with some promising looking ground. The clouds started rolling in, although there was no mention of rain in the forecast, so it should be a great day weather-wise. With a good mix of ironstone and quartz scattered all over the surface, I was pretty confident of finding something, although good-looking ground still doesn't necessarily mean there's gold in it. Well, it's very overcast today and quite windy, so I may have a few issues with the sound because I'm only filming on my mobile phone, of course. But it's actually a great day for detecting. It's nice and cool. And even the flies are sort of laid off a little bit. Anyway, I got two little pieces this morning. So nice little piece there, and that piece there is a nice size, but it's quite flat, so it's not terribly heavy. It's very thin actually, but still very good. Happy with that. So then I got a signal on a chunk of quartz, and the flies are just starting to turn up now. And so what I did is I broke bits off it because it was a fairly sizable chunk, and broke the pieces off the edges of it so that it could fit in my pocket, and that's it there. And I'll just show you if I swing it around on the detector down here. That's the chunk there. So you can actually just see some little bits of gold, and there's a little fleck showing up just there, but you probably won't see it in the camera, I wouldn't imagine. But there's another bit, just there. I know you probably can't see that where my thumb is. Piece of gold showing up there, and there's another piece there where my thumbnail is, but you probably won't pick that up. But anyway, so that's good. And now, as you can see, there's quite a bit of quartz around the place here. That little mark over there in the centre of the screen is where I got that flat piece of gold before. Now, what's interesting is I then came along here a bit, and I'll just show you. I'll put that detector up. I swung it over another chunk. As you can see, most of the quartz is nothing in it, but then there's this piece here, and then this little piece. So somewhere in there's a bit of gold. It'll have to be crushed. But then another interesting bit here, I was just going around under here, and so that's another chunk of quartz sticking out of the ground there. And alright, we'll dig that out. It's a big chunk of rusty old quartz. I'll put it over there and I'll run the detector over it, see what happens. Oh, there's the hole. Nothing there. So you can see. Yeah, let's see. So there you go. Just flip it over. Wow, she's screaming there. Alright, well, that's good. On my way back to the vehicle, I spotted this wee fellow. He's a tiny pebble mimic dragon, and his whole body length is not much wider than my finger. Okay, this is what I've got after crushing up those pieces of quartz and a couple of other little pieces. And still got to separate it a bit better yet, but I've just been panning it off a little bit. And look at that. Pretty happy with that. Very nice. Surprising what you can get out of those little bits of quartz. Right, we're going for a close-up. That's sort of hard to see with that sun so bright on it, but there you go. Very nice. Very nice. Still a few bits going down the back here with the sand, as you can see. So, got to separate it a bit better yet, but very happy with that. Very happy. Got to be a few grams worth there. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and the vehicle is approximately an hour back that way. I'm just going for a bit of a tiki tour, see if I can discover anything. I'll head sort of out this way a bit more, and hopefully get onto a little bit of yellow stuff. Heard someone got bitten by a snake the other day. I don't know what sort it was, but I assume they must have recovered okay because never heard any more about it. Another lovely day, quite a bit of cloud cover, so that's good. Alright, see what we can find. Australia has the most venomous land-based snake in the world, which is the inland taipan. And apparently it's home to more venomous snakes than non-venomous, so this is always something to keep in mind when wandering the outback alone, like I am. Well, this is quite fascinating, bit of a natural arch here. There's a sandstone ridge running along, and there's actually quite a few of them dotted along it. Great place to get a bit of shade from that midday sun. You can actually see where the animals use it. They're sort of bedded down inside, probably kangaroos and maybe even dingoes. It's pretty warm again today. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but there's quite a bit of cloud cover, which is nice because it just takes that real sort of drumming heat out of it. But it's been a pretty slack day. Covered a lot of country and not much. I'll just show you 2 little bits I got earlier this morning. By crikey, one of them's tiny. It's surprising I even picked it up. It's probably not even as big as a match head. Look how small that little fella is. Wee little thing. Little side, there you go. Surprising he even picked it up, and it was actually, you know, an inch or two, probably a couple of inches below the surface, but never mind, it's all gold. Takes a lot of those to get any decent weight. But finally I've got a little target just over here. I just dug it down a little bit, and so now you can hear it's a definite signal. Pretty much in the centre of the hole. Ah, there it is. That little thing there. That little piece there, is it? I presume. That's it. Fancy that. A little bit bigger than the other bits anyway. Oops. Yeah, so, oh, that's good. Good. Probably be, I'd say, around about a gram, I'd say. Good stuff. I spent the next few days combing the whole area, but with no more success. So it was time to move on and look for new ground. Most of the best country is already taken up with live leases, so between the only available land left for prospecting, which is penned-in ground, 40E permit blocks, and the remaining open zones, it's more difficult than you might think to find a new patch that hasn't already been done over at some stage during the last 40 years of metal detecting. It's about lunchtime, and the last couple of days have been ridiculously hot. Got up around the 40-degree mark. That's a bit too much. But today, fortunately, it's only meant to get around the low 30s, so it's a bit more bearable. The last couple of weeks, very poor. Had virtually no gold apart from a couple of specks that are probably half the size of a shotgun pellet. Didn't even bother weighing them. Too small. Anyway, I was just on my way back to the vehicle for lunch because it starts to get a bit depressing after going day after day of nothing. Anyway, next I get a loud signal just down below me here. So as you can see, that's a loud signal. Now normally, of course, you'd say, well, that's just going to be a bullet or something like that, a piece of rusty metal or something, because it's obviously right on the surface. And I was just about to scrape the top with my foot, and then looking down I can actually see the bit of yellow there sticking out, just right in front of my boot right there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I'll take the camera down for a close look. And so that's it, just right there in front of my finger. You should be able to see it quite easy actually. Nice sunbaker or a stargazer. Oh, look at that. Huh, it's a nice chunk. Crikey dickens. You serious? Flaming heck, look at that. It's a beauty. I've never got a chunk that big out of that's right on the surface like that. God, it's a beauty. Now I'll bring that up here. Got a bit of a rub on my trousers. Oh, wow. Ah, magnificent thing. Crikey, there's a fair bit of weight in that. I'm not very good at guessing the weights probably, but oh, that's got to surely be over 5 grams. Heck. Wow, it's magnificent. Look at it. Crikey dickens. Right on the surface. Wow. Oh, after lunch I'll come back around here and just hope there's a few more bits around. Of course sometimes it's just a one-off, but let's hope. Great. I found this little tiny piece on the way back to the car as well. It's just a little fella. It won't weigh much, but there you go. 0.2. And this fella, which I thought should go over 5 grams, I would think. Let's see what happens. Oh, nice. Yeah, over 6. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Very happy with that. Let's hope I can find a few more little bits out there. It's quite a bit cooler today. There's been a southerly change and it's right down to about 25, 26 degrees. And I tell you, it's so much nicer, better for sleeping at night and everything. Marvellous. It's about sort of midday, I'd say now. And it's still nice and cool breeze, lovely. Yesterday was quite a good day. I got quite a few pieces of gold, so I was pretty happy with that. I'm just sort of in the same area now, and I've just got another signal here. Sounds like I'm nearly down to it. It's I'm down about probably, oh, there's the top there, probably 3 inches or so. Seems to be pretty much in the centre of the hole. That's it there. I'll just show you the other bits I got yesterday and this morning. Oh yep, now she's right out of the clay. There we go. So here's the little one I just got now. I'll just focus that. That's better. There we go. And if I can do this with one hand. Drop that, that's the other one. There we go. Oops. So there you go. Quite a good little haul there for a day and a half. There's about 11 pieces or so there. One there's quite a nice chunk, that one there. One out to the side there. Pretty happy with all that. Interesting to see how much that weighs. I'll go back for lunch and put them on the scales. Okay, I found another piece on the way back to the car as well, so I've got 12 pieces there. We'll just see what that one, that's the biggest of the group there, see what that weighs. 2.5 basically. Alright, we'll see what the whole lot comes to. Very happy with that for a day and a half. It always astonishes me how well those creatures survive out here. I don't know how they get enough water. I mean, I'm out here for weeks at a time. I don't come across any water at all. There's no water holes. All the creeks are dry as a bone, so there's nothing in those. And I mean, rain, well, there was a little bit of shower about a week ago, but that dried up real fast. So, it's amazing how they do it. And yet those horses, beautiful condition, magnificent things. They seem to thrive out here. They must get incredibly hot in summer. It's really impressive. Very windy this morning and all grey and overcast. Looks like it's going to rain, but I don't think it's supposed to. But nice and cool, very pleasant conditions for detecting. Lovely. I had a signal just a few minutes ago that I thought was gold, turned out to be just a bullet shell, but I think that's pretty sure that'll be gold. Got it there. Oh, that's it. There we go. Just a little fella. Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's still gold. Alright, so this is what I've got earlier. There's that little one I just got now. So I don't lose any. Get rid of that. There you go. A nice little selection there. Come a bit closer. Focus there. Very good. Quite a few bits there. I don't know how much that'll come out to, but it's all good. Yeah, they're all under a gram, I assume. Like, that's probably the biggest piece there. Yep, just under a gram. Next biggest, probably that one there, I suppose. 0.6. And they're all sort of around that or under it. One interesting thing is, for anybody that thinks you can't get little stuff with a big coil, I'm using a 17 by 13 evolution coil. And surprising how small you can get stuff, like that little guy there. You know, 0.15. You can hardly expect to get anything smaller than that, really. So it's quite astonishing. Anyway, we'll chuck it all on and see what she comes to. Well, there you go, that's not bad, couple of days work. And it shows you, even the little stuff, it all adds up. Nearly 7 grams, that's pretty good. Well, it's so much more pleasant today. It's only about, I think it's 26, 27 degrees as opposed to 37, 38. So much nicer, just a cool breeze. I think it's a southerly wind which explains it. And very nice last night, just nice and cool, whereas some of the nights have been so hot, it's just so hard to sleep. But it's not going to last, of course, because in the next few days it's meant to get right back up to 37, 38, 39. So, but it's nice while it's there. Anyway, I've just got a signal down here. Now, I should have filmed it right off the surface because I thought it was just ground noise, and I nearly walked away from it. But scraped it back, and now it's definitely showing up as a signal. It was just a very faint, if you can hear that. There were some rocks on top too, so it was sort of higher than just ground level, but it was just very faint. But now I've dug it down a bit, of course, you can definitely hear it. It's a funny sort of sounding signal too. It's kind of got a bit of a warble in it. Got it in there already. See if we can just see it in the sun there. Hard to see the shadow there. Can't see anything yet. Oh, it's out. Oh, wait a sec. There we go, look at that. Probably can't see it, it's hard to see that thing there. Anyway, that's it. Is it? There, that's it there. Nice little piece. Nice. Stand up. Beautiful. It's quite a solid little piece too. Very nice. I'm very happy with that. Nice little chunk. Got a little bit of weight to that. See if there's a bit more lying around. Camels were first introduced to Australia during the mid-1800s for the purpose of transport and carrying luggage on inland expeditions. They proved to be extremely useful for the Aussie outback and were used extensively for many years until other forms of transport became the norm. Today, wild camels are scattered all over the interior, and Australia now has the largest herd of wild camels in the world. I'm in a spot here where there's a bit of an ironstone outcrop coming out of the ground, and it's extremely hard to detect. It's all heated up in the sun, obviously, but it's just so much ironstone, you're just getting false signals all the time. Drives you nuts. And so it's very difficult to decide when you get a signal whether it's actually a gold thing or just another hot rock. And I've been constantly just digging up false signals. But I've got a signal down here. So the signal actually sounds alright, but then so does a lot of the ironstone. So I mean, here's a couple of iron rocks here, and they're making the signal as well, so that gives you an idea how difficult it can be. But anyway, it's anyway, I decided I'll film it anyway, and If it turns out to be nothing, I'll just delete it. I think it's right in the centre there. Boy, she's maxing out there. It's just right in there, sort of under that bouldery thing, I think. Alright. Down in here somewhere. Limestone from there. Wait a sec. That's not it. Whoa, you're joking me. Look at that. Look at that. Freaking heck. Ha! What a beauty. Look, it's even got a little root sticking out the side of it there. Wow, you're joking me. Ha! Feel the weight of that. It's a nice piece. I'll just check that's it. Of course it is it, but no wonder she's maxing out the thing. Wow. Oh, what a beauty. Oh God. I'll just give it a bit of a clean. Look at that. Oh wow, look how rough it is. God, it's a beauty. Bit of weight in it. You can see it's not far from the source because it's so jagged. A little bit of root sticking out there. Stuck into it. I'll give it a clean up and show you after. But oh man, look at that. What a beauty. Woohoo! Okay, this is a little bit exciting. I just finished filling in the hole from that nice jagged chunk that I just got, and only walked about 3 meters just over there. Now that's a loud signal. I had actually been in this area a couple of days earlier, but only found 3 tiny pieces of gold and nothing else. And all the false signals from ironstone were making it so frustrating that I moved on. Now I'm certainly glad that I came back for a second look. It's absolutely whatever it is, it's not far down now. Imagine. Oh, there we go, look at that. Look at it. Ha! Beauty, it's another beauty. Ha! Right there, and right in front of the scoop, right there. That's it, in fact that's it, right there. Look at that. That thing there. Ha! Look at that. Ha! Magnificent. Ha! Quite weighty again, of course. Oh, wow. Crikey. Another one of those sort of jaggedy pieces. Right from the source here somewhere. Wow. How magnificent is that? Ha ha, what a beauty. Oh, stand up. What a beauty. Look at it. Oh, magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Oh, rough and jagged. Beautiful. Alright. Well, this guy here certainly gives you a fright. He suddenly comes running out right by your feet. The last thing you want is him running up your leg. Not sure exactly what sort of spider it is. Alright, I've just come back to the vehicle for a bit of lunch and gave these a bit of clean up with a toothbrush and water. I'll give them a better clean when I get back home. But they all look good. These are a few little other pieces I got earlier. Just got them a quick way. Probably be, I don't know, 0.8 or so. Exactly 0.8. And that one there, probably just under a gram, I say. There you go. So together they only come to maybe 2 grams. Yep, just over 2 grams. That's good. And now, these ones, well, that, look how beautiful it is. All rough and irregular shape. Obviously hasn't come far from the source, I would say. That, I'd say, would have to go surely around 7 grams. Oops. So, oh yeah, great. Nearly 9.5 grams, perfect. And then that, so that has obviously got to be well over 10 grams. Isn't it a beautiful piece? Go. Nice, real nice. Alright. Oh yeah, 11.6, excellent. Alright, see what it all comes to. There you go. Not bad for half a day's work. Excellent. 23. All over the state there's lots of massive open cut mines operating, and of course they're not only looking for gold, but there's copper, nickel and many other rare earth minerals as well. So it's not uncommon to come across the odd abandoned mines like this one. And of course this is just one of the smaller ones. Some of them are huge and incredibly deep. When you see them up close they're really impressive. It's about midday and it's supposed to get to around 35 degrees today, but tomorrow is meant to be a bit of a scorcher. I reckon 41, so that's not something to look forward to. Won't be very pleasant. Nice breeze blowing today though, so it's not bad at the moment. Anyway, I'm just heading back to the vehicle for lunch, and I'm just going across this ground here, just basically making a beeline because it's just kind of dirt with scattered quartz on top. There's no sign of any ironstone or anything like that, so it doesn't look particularly great ground. But anyway, I've just got a nice signal down here. Have a listen. So you can see it sounds nice, like that could well be gold. It's a nice enough signal for it. Alright, just scrape that back. Ah, it's gone already. Oh, well that's not a good sign. It means it's probably junk. Probably a piece of lead or something. So then, where is it? Right, grab the scoop. Not that, is it? Oh, blow me down. What is that? Piece of quartz. Oh wow, look at that, look at that. Huh, I don't know if you can see that. Look at the yellow on the end of that. You can see that. I was just thinking to myself, I haven't had a lump of quartz with gold in it for ages. There you go. It's a nice example of a specimen. Got a little bit in that too. Very nice. Oh, so this is a rock that had a bit of gold protruding out the ends of it. You can see it just there. It was a bit bigger than this before, but I've already broken quite a bit of it off. Got a few little bits of gold out of it, and nothing on that side visible, and you can see it just there. And when it's broken open, you see the gold in it there. I'll just get that focus a bit better. There you go. So you can see the gold coming through there, and I'll smash it apart, just see what we get out of it. Let's see bits of gold all through there. Well, there you can see sort of another piece of it there. That's broken off there. It's quite impressive. Look at the gold all through that. There, you can see that. It's all sort of prickly through it. Isn't it very impressive? All the way through. There's over 600 species of lizard found in Australia, and of the great variety of unique and fascinating animals found here, more than 80% of mammals and almost 90% of reptiles are endemic, so found nowhere else in the world. It just got a nice loud signal only just beside me, and I thought, oh, that'll be my first piece of junk, because you could tell it's right on the surface. And you hear that? Very loud, and I thought, oh yeah, that's got to be a bullet on the surface. But then I looked down, and just right there in front of the coil there, you probably can't see it from here, but there's the piece of yellow sticking up right there. Sitting right on the surface. Fantastic. Very nice. Look how thin it is. Very good. Very happy. Alright, so this is what I've got earlier. That's the piece I just got now, that one there. Nice little flat piece. And here, so that. So all of that, all of that there is all from this spot. Another flat piece there, and a few chunkier bits. That piece there, it's a nice chunk. I'll just get the focus a bit better. Yeah, so very happy with that, very happy. And then that other piece sitting on the rock there. So yeah, and hopefully there's a bit more about too. I've got an interesting sounding signal down here. It's got quite a bit of a warble to it, and I'm pretty confident that it's gold because I've got quite a few other bits just around here as well. So I've already dug it down about probably 3 inches. This is what it sounded like on the surface. But then you get down a bit and so as you can see, there's quite a bit of a warble going on there. It's quite a neat sound. Ah, there she is. Nice. Nice chunk. Huh. Look at that, eh? So there you go. That's it with a bit of spit on it. Nice. Fairly thin again, but nice piece. Very good. Excellent. It's been a good patch this. I've got quite a few pieces out of it, which I'll show you later. I'm very impressed. Right. This here is all the gold I got from just that one patch. So I scoured over the area for about 2.5 days, trying to make sure I got every little piece out of it. It was an area probably around sort of roughly 50 meters by 50 meters. And yeah, it all is. Okay, so that's that, just the one patch. There's about 80 pieces there. Very impressive. The most I've ever got from one spot. Incredible. Nothing very massive by any stretch of the imagination. Probably like ones like that, sort of some of the bigger bits. That one there, probably still the biggest piece. Or that one's possibly the biggest. I mean, okay, that one weighs what? Okay, just over 4 grams. Nice. That one there was very similar. Right, those are the 2 biggest pieces, I think, of that lot. That sort of one there, funny shaped thing, that thing. 2 grams. Anyway, oh, one there too, that's a nice sort of one as well. What's that? Yep. All good. Alright, we'll shove it all on. See how much it comes to. Alright, I've already got over an ounce. Oh, looking good. Looking good. There you go. That's, I hardly noticed those little bits. Look at that. 56 grams. Excellent. Not far off 2 ounces from one spot. Heck, I wish I could find a few more patches like that. I managed to snap off a quick photo of this white dingo before he took off. I don't know how rare that is, but I've never seen one quite as light coloured as this before. In fact, I've hardly seen or heard many dingoes out this way at all. But then I suppose that's to be expected. The poison campaigns are certainly knocking the numbers down. This is one of the dead ones I came across. Lovely condition. Beautiful blonde coat on it. The interesting thing is this doesn't look like it's even been dead long. It's all loose. Doesn't even stink yet. Of course, with anything like this, there's always going to be the odd unintended consequences. This dog died during the night, and it didn't take long for the wedgetail to show up on the scene. Which is hardly surprising though, with their amazing binocular vision, they'd probably spot it from a long way off. They're certainly not going to turn down an easy meal when it presents itself, and it doesn't take much effort to rip the guts open with their long talons and a hooked beak powerful enough to break small bones. So it's a bit of a shame when you realise that these magnificent birds could be consuming contaminated carcasses. Wedge-tail eagles have got a massive wingspan of up to 2.3 metres and are capable of flying off with a weight up to 5 kilo, which could be heavier than their own body weight. I've got a really nice sounding signal down here. It's pretty loud, and you'll notice I've got the external speaker on today just for a change, so you can hear that a lot better. I haven't had any junk in this whole area, so I'm assuming and hoping that it's a piece of gold. Nice signal, but before I dig that, I'll just show you what I got yesterday. Found a little patch. I got 14 pieces, but nothing anywhere else around it. It's been very hot lately. The last 5 days it's been over 40 degrees, but today finally it's dropped, and I think it's only meant to get to about 31, and boy, what a difference. So much nicer. So that's what I got there. Now they're very, very thin, most of them. One piece there a little bit more chunky, but they're quite a good size, but very, very flat. Some of them are so thin it's like paper, you can actually bend them. But all good. Excellent. Scrape. Hope it's still in there, not just on the surface. That's probably junk if it is. Still there, that's a good sign. Can't be far down because it's very loud. It's pretty soft, sort of just gravel and dirt kind of thing. Certainly got it in there. able to see it here somewhere, surely. Should be able to just spot it, you'd think, because it's giving a loud signal. Oh, 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 look at that, look at that. Look at that, see that? Oh, it's a beauty. Look at that. Beautiful, look at it. Fairly flattish again, but it's a lot more solid than those other ones, that's for sure. Heck yeah, it's a beauty. You can feel the weight of it. It's a nice piece. Give it a bit of spit. Right. Yeah, look at that. Ha, it's a nice piece, nice. Real nice. Look at that, beautiful. Ha ha. Magnificent thing. I saw this little lizard sitting on a rock and he looked a bit skinny and hungry, so I found a dead grasshopper and put it on my hand to see what he'd do. He actually jumped off the rock onto my hand when he saw the grasshopper. How amazing is that? He's certainly having a bit of trouble getting it down though. It's a little bit bigger than his normal meals, I'd say. I've just come back to a spot where I was yesterday, and just down the hill a little way down there I got a nice flat piece right on dark. So I'm back again, and for the last 2 hours I've been just making my way through this way and haven't found a thing yet. So, but finally I just got a signal down here and it sounds pretty good. I've already gone down probably 2 or 3 inches and it's quite a good signal. So that's what it sounded like on the surface. Now I've gone down a bit and it's... So it's a pretty loud signal. Alright. I've got the external speaker on again this morning so you can hear it a lot better, you notice. This is real soft again, it's just like dirt, as you can see, it's incredibly soft. Strange, really. It must be just here somewhere. Picking that it'll be out now, I imagine. Oh, it's still in there. Pick too close there. And that's a good sign. Lovely. Sounds like it's right down amongst those roots there. Cool. What's that? That's not it, is it? Oh, you're joking me. You're joking me. Wow. What a beauty. Feel a bit of weight in it. Wow. Magnificent. Oh, look at the size of it. Alright, I'll give it a bit of spit, see if I can clean it up a little bit so you can see the yellow a bit. Stand up. Alright. Hopefully it focuses right there. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that magnificent. Ha. Oh yeah. I'll give it a clean up later with a toothbrush. And wow. What a beauty. Fantastic. This is extraordinary. These are wild horses way out in the middle of nowhere. I had no idea I'd get this close. Unbelievable. At first they were real touchy. You know, I couldn't get within 100 metres. I've spent probably an hour just following them, and I've just gradually got closer and closer to them, and they've started to get used to me. This is like way out back. Sun's just setting, so it's just got that last bit of light. So this is that nice piece I got yesterday. It's still, I gave it a bit of a wash, but it's still got quite a bit of dirt in the crevices there. It's quite jagged, so it's a bit hard to clean. Bring it a bit closer for you to have a look there. Get the focus right. Yeah, it's very sharp and got lots of crevices in there. But anyway, and then this piece, focus back again. This piece over here is that flat piece I mentioned that I got just down the hill from that other one. This was actually only a third of the size when I got it out of the ground, and it was all sort of folded up. So I literally just unfolded it with my fingers. It's so thin, it's like paper thin. See it there, look at that. It's incredible. It cleaned up quite nicely. And then this fella here, I just got that this morning. Yeah, it was right on the surface, that thing. Sunbaker. Anyway, alright, we'll see what they weigh. Just do that one first. And I can't imagine it'll weigh too much because look how thin it is. Oh yep, still just over 2 grams. Sort of almost surprising that. And that one I got this morning, well that's a bit heavier than that, so. Oh nice. Very nice. Happy with that. Yeah, very good. And then this fella, well, it should weigh, it should be, oh it's got to be over 8 grams or something I'd say, surely. Oh, very nice. 10.6. Excellent. So what have we got total? Oh, nearly 17 grams. Over half an ounce. Fantastic. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Sun's been up about an hour. Best time of the day, of course. Nice and cool. Although it's quite windy, but that's probably a good thing because I believe it's meant to get quite hot later, up to about 38. I've got a little piece of gold just over there, about 30 metres away. And now I've got another signal down here. And it's got a bit of a warble to the sound, which I quite like because that fluctuation in the sound is often due to the shape of the piece of gold. That's if it is gold, which we hope. So anyway, have a listen to this. If you can hear that, pick up that sort of a warble in the sound there or not through the headphones, but there you go. Anyway, okay, let's see what we can find. At this stage I was starting to have doubts as to whether the signal was actually gold or just an old buried piece of tin or something. Although the surface looked like virgin ground, I did find some old worthless relics nearby, meaning there had been people here at some time in the past. And the signal was such that I knew it had to be something of reasonable size. I think it's right in the centre. Oh crikey, it's a very serious signal. Alright, well, it can't be far now. This is all hard. A little bit deeper just there by the look of it. Drops down a bit. There. Alright, let's give it another run over the... Oh, it's out. Well, just move that pick out of the way a bit. Okay, so this is the going point. Just there somewhere. Oh, you're joking me. You are joking. Oh, I don't believe this. Oh, I just saw it. And that is something serious. Oh, I can't believe it. Do you see that? You see that thing there? That, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at the size of that. Oh, the weight of it. That is solid gold nugget. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh man, that's heavy. Wow. Oh man, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, that. Oh, goodness knows what that would weigh. I'll just put a bit of spit on it so you can see the yellow. I don't know if it shows up in the sun there. Look at it. Looks like it's just pretty much gold. I can't even see any ironstone or quartz or anything. It's just a solid gold chunk. Now I wonder if it's giving that warbly sort of sound, because look at the shape of it. It's as knobbly as anything. Look at the size of that. I can't believe that. Oh man. That is just astonishing. Just sitting on that bedrock there. Probably, if it was down in that little gutter there, maybe a foot down, about a foot. If it was in that lowest point. Oh God, I can't believe that. I'll clean it up, give it a bit of a wash and everything, and show you a better look at it later and put it on the scales. I'll just show you something funny while I'm here. That down there, just there, is an old beer bottle that somebody's left lying around. And just over here, about 2 meters away, is where I pulled out that magnificent thing there. It's quite funny, because that's what you call poetic justice, isn't it? Someone leaves their rubbish lying around, and they miss out on that beauty. Okay, so there she is, after I've given her a nice clean up. I've actually had it in acid as well, because it did have a few bits of ironstone on it. Let's get that focus better. The acid got rid of those, and now she's just come up beautiful. Look at that. Nice clean gold nugget. Look at it, all knobbly. Magnificent thing. Look at that. And on the scales, get that focus better there. That's good. She goes over 80 grams. Look at that. Beautiful. That's over 2.5 ounces. Absolutely magnificent. Alright, so I ended up melting down all my small stuff again, the same as I did last year, into lumps, and these are some of them here. They came out absolutely magnificent, of course. Just sort of various shapes, but I'm not worried about that. Look how beautiful they come up. Just magnificent things. And each one of them weighs over 1 ounce, so I'll just show you. So, I'll get that focus a bit better there. There you go. Alright. So 32. 2 as well. 2. 31. So what I did is I weighed little batches of small stuff before I started, and I made sure they were all just over 1 ounce before I started, so that by the time I lost a little bit in impurities and stuff, I'd end up with each lump just over 1 ounce, which I have. But boy, they come up nice, don't they? Look at that. Here's a close up. Look at that. Just pure gold. Magnificent things. Alright, good. Of course, I've kept all the larger pieces intact. Years ago, practically all gold was melted down. It's only in more recent times, due to the realisation of their scarcity and uniqueness, that the demand for genuine, naturally occurring gold nuggets found just the way nature created them has become evident. They're becoming more and more popular for jewellery and as collector's items. There's just one more thing I thought I'd mention before I go. I've noticed that there's a few what I like to call fake gold clips on the internet, and a lot of you out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the ones where you see someone repeatedly finding lots of what are supposed to be really large gold nuggets. The kind that most professional miners will never find in their lifetime, let alone over and over again with little or no effort. It's a shame and a bit of an insult to the majority of genuine, honest people out there who know just how hard it is to find, and how exciting it can be to even find the smallest of pieces. If a rare larger chunk is encountered, then the emotions are hard to control, and that speaks for itself. I'm afraid if gold was that easy to find, then everybody would be doing it, not to mention of course the fact that it wouldn't be worth as much either. Even gold buyers have to be careful when purchasing gold. It's amazing just what lengths some people will go to just to create fakes. Like for instance painting or coating inferior metal to make it look like gold. One simple test you can do is to just get a magnet like that little fella there, run it over your subject. If it attracts to the magnet, then I'm afraid it just simply isn't gold. It may be gold plated, but it's certainly not solid gold. Because unfortunately, when you run a magnet over gold, that's what happens. Absolutely nothing. Because gold isn't magnetic. Nice if it was, but I'm afraid searching for gold with a magnet just isn't an option. Because you won't find anything. Now, just because it doesn't stick to a magnet doesn't necessarily mean it's real gold either, because there's plenty of other metals that are not magnetic as well, like lead for instance. So it could be just coated lead and still pick it up with a metal detector, but it's just not real gold. And while I'm on the subject of lead, for anyone that's not familiar, gold is not far off twice the weight of lead, so it's very heavy for its size. Anyway, that's enough for now, so have fun out there and I'll catch you later.